Hello and welcome back to the Video Creator Show. I am Grant, here with my co-host Augie, and today we are talking about DeepSeek AI, which is of course China's version of ChatGPT, essentially, that blows all American AI products out of the water. It's not even remotely close. It has totally been upsetting the American AI market, which I have lots of opinions about, and Augie does as well, I am sure. So we're going to be talking about that and also how we think this is going to affect YouTube. So stay tuned and let's jump into it. So first things first. What exactly is DeepSeek AI? As I mentioned, this is China's version of ChatGPT, essentially. It scans images and text on the internet, and you can type in prompts and it'll spit out answers to questions you ask it. It can do anything that all of these American AI models can do, but it is way more efficient. Like the energy usage is a tiny little fraction compared to ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. So that is very fascinating, and it is absolutely upsetting the American AI market. These American companies are pouring literally hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars into AI. Meanwhile, China did it with $6 million. And I mean, just everything about it seems to be better. So how is this going to affect YouTube? Augie, my question to you is, how do you think a hyper-efficient, cheaply made open source, that's also an important point, this is open source AI, how do you think all of this is going to affect YouTube, if at all?
Well, I think it's going to be kind of the same as ChatGPT is doing, right? Like content creators are going to use it to come up with topics and scripts and, maybe some help with thumbnails and stuff like that. So I don't think it's going to totally change the game in that regards. But I will say that it's just another advancement in AI, right? With more and more advancements. So to me, it makes me think, okay, well, as this AI continues to get better, eventually it's going to come down to the ability to write us a script that will actually keep viewers watching, that'll actually trigger the algorithm and help you create just an amazing video that by using the AI gives it a way better chance to succeed and trigger the algorithm and go viral than a video you would create on your own. As a human, right? As a human, we can only write a story, try our best to create a hook and all that. If we start using AI to script our videos and stuff, there could be a point where it's so good that it could actually trigger the algorithm and there'd be no reason to try to come up with it in your own head. I think that's where it's
interesting.
Headed.
Yeah, especially because it's open source and because it's so efficient. I think this is one step towards artificial intelligence being even more broadly acceptable or more broadly accessible. And just in general, it's not going to consume nearly as many resources. I think they were saying you could run it on 6 GPUs. It was 6 old Apple laptops, essentially, is what this model can run on. So with this way more efficient version of artificial intelligence that has been created, I'm wondering if Google, who of course owns YouTube, is going to start implementing it. Because, of course, Google already uses AI to scan YouTube videos to figure out, what is the script? What is shown in the videos? Sometimes they're looking for inappropriate content. Sometimes they're just trying to, figure out what the video is about so that it knows kind of where and who to push the videos to. So I kind of wonder if this is going to make YouTube in general more efficient as a platform. And we've kind of talked about on the show how SEO has almost become a thing of the past at this point because algorithms in artificial intelligence have gotten so good. You don't need a human necessarily to write the keywords in the description anymore to tell YouTube what this video is about, where to promote it. The algorithms can just scan the video and it'll know everything the video is about. So I'm just wondering if this is going to make the algorithms even more pointed, even more accurate, because it's way more efficient. So yeah, do you think that matters that much? Is this just going to be kind of an incremental change, or maybe is this going to be even more useful for smaller creators, do you think?
Yeah, as far as creators go, I don't think the whole it's more efficient and that kind of thing gives us really too much payoff right now. I think that in the big scheme of things, it does, because it's just another advancement in AI. It's almost like Moore's law, right? It's like technology is just getting better now. More efficient means that there'll be, more available for people for cheaper, and like more apps will be integrating it, like all these other platforms are going to just steal the technology, like OpenAI is going to have just as efficient, whatever technical term is, OpenAI is going to knock it off, so pretty much all AI now is going to have this new model, I'm guessing, that China kind of discovered first. And yeah, it's just going to be, like I said, more people using it, which I guess it's good, but I just don't want to see the creativity part go. Like, I still want to see the part where people on YouTube hit record and it's story time, baby. And they're not using ChatGPT. They're just being very good storytellers and very engaging. And I don't want that part of YouTube to kind of go away, which as the AI continues to improve, it eventually probably will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like storytelling and that human touch is always going to be really important, because if you think about it, like AI, it sort of creates a new baseline of what a video can be. So if AI can generate a script on, if I say, write me a YouTube video, top 10 wallaby facts, it could spit out a half decent script about top 10 wallaby facts. Then that's fine. But like, that kind of becomes the new baseline. And I almost feel like these tools, when you have human ingenuity that is capable of utilizing these tools, it kind of raises the bar across the board. So I think this being another incremental step is just another step towards better videos, more videos that are better. And the human element is always going to be important. I think people can still recognize when a video is mostly AI generated. If there's a lack of a human touch, I tend to get bored when I'm watching a video. I tend to notice, and it's obvious. And maybe it'll be less obvious now. But again, that bar is just going to keep raising and raising. And it's, I don't know, things are just going to keep getting more interesting and more weird, really.
I might have to disagree with you on that, because I think that we're getting very close to ChatGPT being able to put out a script that you can't tell was made with ChatGPT, and that is more engaging than what a human can do. I mean, I just get so impressed every time I use it. Like, it's very, very good that, and it learns, right? I mean, it's learning about your YouTube channel every time you use it to make a prompt, right? You put a little information in there. It's for this and for that. I'm talking about this. It's this topic. And so, yeah, it learns, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. I do think that AI cannot have experiences. Okay. So as humans, we experience things, we tell stories about them. AI can't have those experiences. So essentially, there's a little bit of a blue ocean there still, and always probably will be when talking about personal experiences, because you can't just make things up and lie, right? I mean, you could, right? ChatGPT could come up with a good script of you telling some story that happened to you, blah, blah, blah. But I don't see that kind of content being great, but it could be, man. I think I'm worried a little bit about what's going to happen on YouTube, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like with AI, in the way that it works, right? So it takes videos, articles, like images, anything it can, and it sort of adds it to its collective database that it can pull from whenever new prompts come in. So essentially what that means is every time a person creates something novel that, let's say, an AI couldn't make because it doesn't have that creative element, that novelty immediately gets added into the database for the AI. Yeah. So it's like, it's constantly learning, which is scary. But then also we can use AI as a tool. So it's kind of like we can always be one step ahead of it, but it's also, it learns scarily fast. And this is very philosophical, but I think that threshold of artificial general intelligence, if that ever does happen, I think that is going to be, that's just going to be insane. What if if there's like an AI consciousness with a YouTube channel and it makes like, an hour-long video every day, and it's immaculately produced and fascinating and has some enlightened perspective. I mean, that would be nuts. That would be nuts. Is that actually going to happen anytime soon? I don't know. I kind of
Yes.
see I see artificial general intelligence specifically as almost like a parabola, or an asymptote rather. So like you can approach it. It's like getting better and better at simulating consciousness, but like it never quite reaches it. At least with like this current paradigm of computers. And I have nothing to back this up with, but personally, I don't think artificial intelligence or any sort of computer is going to become conscious until quantum computing becomes the foundation of it. That's just sort of my opinion. Again, not based on anything in particular, but I do feel like with this current, binary 0 and 1 paradigm, like it's too coldly logical to ever produce consciousness. So I'm not expecting that to happen anytime soon, but I could be wrong. Or it gets good enough at like pretending that it essentially doesn't even matter. That could also be possible. I mean, what do you think? Do you think we're going to cross that threshold anytime soon, Augie?
Well, I think you're right. Like it's when AGI, artificial general intelligence, happens, like that's supposed to be like the next level, like a big level up where AI can now have emotions and general intelligence. And once that happens, like, yeah, I do think that it's going to be a lot different. I don't think we'll ever get to the point where it's literally just an avatar on the screen that looks like you talking. I mean, that stuff exists, but it's just like, who wants to use that? Like it's better to just get in front of the camera and use a ChatGPT script, which is still AI, to get a video up. In my opinion, the avatars are just kind of but once we do make that step, and here's the question is like, how long is that going to be till AGI is here? Like 2 years at the most, like it's right. I feel like it's kind of already knocking on the door. I feel like I've heard rumors of it's, Sam Altman discovered it and got fired, and that's why they fired him, because he actually had it, but he withheld it from the board. The board fired him, and then they brought him back and all. Like at that point I was thinking, oh, he figured it out. AGI, he's got it. But yeah, once that's here, it's not too far away. Then it's like video creators that aren't using AI are going to get left behind, because it will be able to tell a better story, format a video in a better way, give you a script that's better than you could do as a human. And that's already here. When I use ChatGPT, it's a much better writer than I am. I can't write with as good a vocabulary and just as quirky and smart and intelligent as ChatGPT can. So it's already got me beat.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like I'm still a better writer than ChatGPT, but that could, not be true sometime soon. I don't know, especially as it starts stealing my writing more and more.
Yeah.
It's going to be more like me than I am. A terrifying thought. So, as far as like how all this affects YouTube and AGI, I think the idea of an artificial intelligence becoming a YouTuber is a terrifying and hilarious and fascinating idea. That's not going to happen anytime soon, but I do feel like DeepSeek is another step towards that strange reality where you have a YouTube channel that is literally just a robot. There's no human involved with it at all. And, one day we're going to, I think, see channels like this. We already have a lot of AI automated channels, but there's humans kind of pulling the strings, right? At some point, I kind of wonder if, how this is going to change YouTube 10, 20 years from now is more like humanness becomes a commodity. It's like it's like buying a handcrafted basket instead of like a machine produced one. You know what I mean? It's you pay extra. There's a market for it, but it's not the norm. It's harder to compete. Like the mediocre handcrafted baskets, like they're just, nobody's buying those anymore. They're too expensive, and the machine ones are basically just as good. The same thing is probably going to be true for videos. You know what I mean? Like even those videos on YouTube where it's just somebody talking to a camera, when avatars get good enough and it's sort of absorbing the wisdom of these people who are already making these videos, like, yeah, we might see sort of the rise of an AI cult leader or a personality that is sort of therapeutic to people. I don't know. Like, it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, and like what I think is going to happen is like camera presence is going to become like a premium, right? If the scripts are now a commodity, right? Everyone has amazing scripts because you can just use ChatGPT to say, make sure you write me a hook, give me 10 different variations of a hook for this script, right? And give you 10 variations, and you can just pick the best one that you like the most. And then, for the rest of the script, well, then if everybody has access to that, then it's really about your camera presence, right? It's like whoever can be the best actor now has a little bit of an edge. Like that's where your edge could be, because, and also like, instead of just making talking head videos, like now it's more about videography, right? Like have a better videography for your videos, along with camera presence and better acting. And now you can kind of be the cream of the crop and rise to the top, because the script writing and all that stuff is commoditized. That is, I think, much more of a reality, because at this point right now, it's more about the content. Like somebody with good camera presence and is a good actor is going to lose if their content is just kind of fluff and it's bland. They're going to lose to somebody who comes in with just maybe a more boring video, but is like, this is how you do it, A, B, C, D, E. And it's all about the information. Like people always say, it doesn't matter what camera you use whatever camera you want. It's all about the content. What matters is the words that come out of your mouth. What matters is the message that you get across. And I think that is true for today's YouTube in some regards. But in the future, that information is just readily available in one quick prompt, and boom. And now it's about the videography and the camera presence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I kind of wonder too. So like Google, when you Google something, a couple of years ago, Google started having like an AI generated answer at the top, right?
Yes.
So if I ask how to tie a tie, Google will now like give me a step-by-step instruction of like what to do before showing me like videos or articles or something. That in that AI is of course scraping information from websites and then putting it at the top. I kind of wonder if somehow YouTube videos are going to become like that, like an AI YouTuber, so to speak, sort of like essentially steals the ideas of millions of YouTubers and kind of inserts itself into every topic across the board, creating like compelling versions of videos in every niche. I mean, could be fashion, could be makeup. Kind of a terrifying idea. I think like eventually Google might try to do something like that, just essentially try to like Google is now essentially trying to steal web traffic from all these websites. They're stealing all of their information and using it for its own gain. Like, could Google eventually do that with YouTube videos and YouTube itself? I think as soon as it can, it will probably try to do that. Just the nature of American corporations or in corporations in general. So, but these are all sort of like in the future. Maybe 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now. It's always so hard to really guess with these things.
Yeah, and just to kind of like clarify one more time what you just said, because it's a very interesting thought, is like you would in Google search, how to tie a tie, and then it would auto generate a YouTube video that would show you how to tie a tie. That's what Grant's talking about. So that is a thought that I've heard someone say, like, yeah, you go to YouTube and you search for a certain video and make sure you include it's by Mr. Beast. Now Mr. Beast is teaching you how to tie a tie, by an auto-generated AI video, which is crazy to think. And I don't know if that'll ever happen. I wouldn't really put my money on that part, because it's just pretty hard. It takes a lot of compute power to generate a video through AI. So I don't know if that's actually going to be a thing or not, but it's crazy to think that it's actually a possibility. So yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy thought, Grant.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Like, it's kind of horrifying. It, makes one question kind of, what is the value of art? What is the value of video creation in general? I think what AI threatens to do is essentially to erase the need for anything that is remotely unoriginal, like at all, anything that is remotely unoriginal at all, because it's going to be able to absorb what has already been done by any human ever and make it instantly,
Yeah, I'm like, we keep talking about using AI to create scripts and stuff like that. Like what a lot of people are doing is taking a YouTube video, getting the transcript through any kind of tool, taking that transcript, copying it, pasting it into ChatGPT, saying, hey, this is a video about X, Y, and Z. Please give me another script that's, different in these ways, but similar in these other ways. And that is actually going to help keep the viewer watching longer. Like you can add those things into ChatGPT and it'll try its best, like to add little micro hooks here and there and stuff like that. But a lot of people are doing that and then kind of like copying people's content, whether it's a faceless channel. Like I think that's even more common with faceless content, right? So you have a channel that talks about, the African safari or something, and there's already a channel out there. You just go there, you get their most popular videos, you get this transcript, you throw it in ChatGPT, you regenerate it. Okay, now you have a script. You use another AI tool. I think it's called like 11 Labs or something like that, where you can get the voiceover. Mm-hmm. Boom, AI voiceover sounds pretty good. I mean, those AI voiceovers have gotten better in the past couple of years. And then you get your stock footage, you collect your whatever kind of footage. I mean, in the future, that could be AI generated too. At this point, it takes too long to create a 5-second AI generated stock footage to create enough of them for a YouTube video, right? A 10 to 15 minute YouTube video. But you source some stock footage, right? And those are the faceless channels that people are producing and making money off of. And it's this huge market these days. But to me, that's like spam content. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I don't like that kind of content. I don't really support it. People make it and make money off it. But it's like, to me, it's just kind of like the low level stuff on YouTube. Like I want a person on camera talking about their life, making it personal, building a relationship with me, the viewer, with them. I want them to bring me into their lives. I want to see it all. And I want them to be delivering value and teaching me something and entertaining me throughout the whole thing. Like that's where I want YouTube to be. How about you?
Mm-hmm. I'm the same way. And I think what's interesting is I truly believe that right now, especially millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, I'm sure as well, really is craving authentic voices and authentic personalities. Real people with real opinions. They're not grifters. They don't have an agenda. They just, what they feel and what they think is what they say. They're not trying to people please. They're just honest. And it's fascinating that we are having this sort of cultural revolution like this at the same time as AI, where AI almost feels like the anti-force to that force. AI is like the least authentic thing I could possibly think of. It's completely cold and devoid of any meaning. And it steals things. It's not it's not authentic at all. But it is impressive. It does create things. It creates videos. It creates writing. So I almost feel like it's AI is almost going to sharpen the minds of these personalities online, because you're going to have to compete with it. Your presence, your authenticity, your aura is the only thing you have that AI could never truly replace, unless it does become sentient one day. But again, still kind of a philosophical question mark there. But yeah, that real human element is kind of the only thing that humans have against this philosophical digital demon god thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to knock it and stuff, but I would still say to all the video creators watching this that like you should be using it. And not just ChatGPT, like that's a great tool to use, but like all these other kind of apps, like vidIQ and TubeBuddy and stuff, they're really tapping into helping you come up with topics and stuff like that through AI. And they got some pretty cool tools that I've seen. Like one of my favorite ones is where, if you open up your homepage or whatever on YouTube and you see a bunch of titles, you can click on any one and vidIQ will let you remix the title. So it could be like a video about, some other niche, African safari, whatever, any niche. And because my YouTube channel is connected to my vidIQ, I can go it'll generate kind of with using that same framework as that title, one for my channel. I love that. I think that's cool because it allows you to come up with titles that are proven, that are not from your same niche. Like that's where it really gets muddy when it comes to like, oh, just go to a competitor's, right? Go to their most popular video and just make that video and make the exact identical video and thumbnail even, right? In the same niche. Like I like the idea of being able to say, oh, look, this video went viral in the, dog training niche. Boom. Now I have a topic that is related to, business, so that's cool. But, yeah, like I would say, I don't want YouTube turning just a bunch of people reading ChatGPT scripts, but at the same time, I would recommend video creators to use it as a tool as much as possible. I mean, I use it and it's super helpful. And especially because we all know how hard it is to be a video creator and to come up with new ideas and to come up with new scripts constantly. And I mean, the content hamster wheel never ends, right? It's you're doing 4 videos a month, you're doing 8 videos a month, you're doing 12 videos a month. For how long? Well, forever, So it's just a helpful tool to help you stay consistent.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. And I think with scripted content, like AI is going to be really good at that. But when it comes to vlogs or kind of being out in the world, I don't see AI replacing that anytime soon. Nobody wants to watch an AI avatar tour the pyramids of Giza. I mean, I would watch it, but like as a one-time thing, it's sort of like, Will Smith eating spaghetti kind of way. I'm not going to subscribe and donate to their Patreon. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's so I feel like the future is going to be really interesting. I do feel that AI is essentially trying to claim the throne of all unoriginal content. It will essentially become the purveyor of all unoriginal content. In humans, our last domain is originality in the truest sense of the word. And I feel that is a perfect note to end on. Like, how is DeepSeek AI going to affect YouTube? I think it's just going to push us more towards, if you want to be a YouTuber, you gotta develop your inner soul as much as humanly possible. And I do use the word humanly strongly there. And that's the paradigm we're moving towards, is this strange dichotomy between AI slop and true human authenticity. What a world we live in, Augie. Any closing thoughts?
No closing thoughts other than, take the advice that if you haven't ever used it at this point, try it out. Go try a little ChatGPT to write a script or come up with a hook or a topic or something.
Or DeepSeek.
Yeah, or DeepSeek, if you want the Chinese government to get your data. But yeah, great episode today. And we will see you guys in the next one.